The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Wow, the end of that. We just hear Chester's voice just so, it gives me chills hearing Chester Bennington's voice. And it's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. That's world premiere music from Linkin Park. It's called Friendly Fire. And what's that going to be on, Case? How are we going to get that?
Yeah, so that is a song from the One More Light sessions. That was the last record they put out together while Chester was still with us. So that is the lead single off of their new career-spanning greatest hits album, Paper Cuts, which will be out in physical form and digital form, and we'll obviously continue playing Linkin Park's greatest hits as we've done, but that album will be out on April 12th. So much like Lost last year, which was the biggest song in all of 2023,
right,
that came from the Meteora sessions. This comes from One More Light, and wow. What a song.
You know,
literally a few months ago, Mike Shinoda said, I am not a fan of greatest hits albums. I'm not a fan of putting out remastered new albums. But I guess probably made some pretty good coin off of Lost and the Meteora box set. So changed his mind pretty quick.
I will say there are a few bands out there. The Cure is very good about this. The Smashing Pumpkins are very good about this. R.E.M. is very good about this. And Linkin Park has joined that club where when they do re-release old music, when they either reissue a vinyl or when they do a greatest hits, there is an immense level of care that's put into it that feels much more like fan service than it does a cash grab. The Hybrid Theory and the Meteora re-releases that they've done, the vinyl, the merchandise that they've done, yes, probably good for Mike Shinoda's bank account, but they've also been beautiful, and it doesn't feel cheap, and it doesn't feel like just purely a cash grab, like I said.
He said if they are to put stuff like that out, he wants it to be special.
It feels like that. The artwork, especially for these albums, have been immaculate. It's been really well done.
Yeah, that's new Linkin Park. We'll play it again later on today. And I'll just use this moment to kind of go back in time a little, especially with Roker Jr. here. It's great to have somebody when I was back at Q101 doing afternoons as Sludge, and he was on the Man Cow show. But it just brought back these memories of whenever I hear Linkin Park and we're talking about something like this where it gets emotional a little bit, of Jamboree 2001. And I don't know if you remember this, Roker, but they played. Some of the lineup on that, by the way, we'll get to in a second. But Linkin Park played, and I remember, so really One Step Closer was the big song, and that was pretty much it at that point. But they crushed in front of 30,000 people at the New World Music Theater, whatever it was called by that point. But I remember those 24-hour days we used to have down there with like all the bands, 30,000 people, and I was on the couch in the back room there in the backstage area, kind of laying down almost asleep or just taking a little breather. And I remember getting this tap on my shoulder. And I look up, and it was Chester from Linkin Park. And he goes, hey, man, I just wanted to say thanks for having us. We really appreciate it. We got to go because we got to go to the next show. We can't stay for the rest of the night. We'd love to stay. And then all of the guys, Mike Shinoda came in, and we had about a good 5-minute conversation. And they were so nice and appreciative of just getting, because they knew Q101 helped them get where they were, and Chicago did, you guys as the fans. And you know, just so you know, bands don't always do that. And I'm not saying they're jerks. They just play the show, and you might not see them the rest of the night. They're doing an after party, or they're
back on the bus.
Yeah.
They're
usually appreciative. But I couldn't believe the over-appreciation that they had as a band. So nice. And I go, oh, my God, thank you. And I was actually kind of half passed out. He didn't have to come up to me. He could have said it to you or someone else that was up talking. He actually took the moment to wake me up because he knew that I had talked to him earlier and brought him on stage. So I just always remembered that, especially now, so many years later, of how really, really appreciative he was and cool about that first big show in front of 30,000 people down in Tinley Park.
That's a great memory to have.
Oh, God. And I have no picture with him. I have no interview audio. You know, there was no iPhone in 2001, so I don't have anything. But it was just a memory, which is fine with me.
It was the little Kodak cameras that were the disposables back then, if you happen to have one on you.
Listen to the rest of this lineup on Jamboree 2001, by the way. Alien Ant Farm, Crazy Town.
Wow.
Remember that Come Come My Baby song?
I've partied with him. I'll tell you off the air.
Oh, okay. How about on the air? Disturbed also played that when they were a young band by that point still. Disturbed had Stupefy. Down with the Sickness was probably out by then.
Of course.
Remember a band called From Zero? Some of these bands are funny to talk about. Cold and From Zero.
Cold had a few tracks.
So this was Jamboree, right?
This is Jamboree.
So there was a main stage, and there's probably a second stage out in the parking lot.
You know what? Maybe there was one. I cannot remember if there was a second stage or if it was all in the main. There might have been a second stage on Jamboree that year. Fuel.
Yes.
Fuel. And then Linkin Park, of course. Hometown guys, Lucky Boys Confusion. Love those guys. Yeah. Naperville. Monster Magnet. Remember that band? Space Lord, Mother.
Is that your karaoke song?
Yeah, that is. Papa Roach was there.
Of course.
Still going strong. Run DMC was there.
Yes, I've got a picture with them. We interviewed them.
Yeah, we got an ID with. We got one of those. Them saying about Q101. I can try to find that real quick.
I interviewed Jam Master Jay. I've got a Jam Master Jay sign my laminate.
Really?
Yeah.
How was that? How was that interview?
It was great.
Yeah, of course.
You got to come back for one of the fill-in here days, Roker, and play that. Can you do that?
Sure.
Okay, here's Run DMC from Jamboree that many years ago.
This is Jam Master Jay.
Yo, what's going on? This is me, DMC, and the place to be.
And the place to be is on Q101, and that's what you're listening to, boy.
That's the best ID we have right there.
That's the best one.
We don't really play Run DMC, but that's great. So good. Also, Saliva was there.
Hell yeah, that's our boys.
And Stained was there.
Hell yeah, that's our boys. And Rudy Giuliani's favorite band.
Apparently, yeah.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Time for the weekend Q101. Stuff going on in and around Chicagoland. Some of it doesn't cost anything. Case makes an amazing blog at Q101.com. So if you missed something here we're talking about, don't worry about it. It's all there for you at Q101.com. And we always start off with the music stuff. So, Case, what do you got?
Live music is finally back in Chicago. It seems like after Twisted Christmas, things go away for a little bit. It is back with a vengeance this weekend. Cold War Kids at the Salt Shed. That is sold out.
Wow.
Local H at Empty Bottle. That is sold out.
Hell yes.
Military Gun, who's playing the Lounge at noon today, at Bottom Lounge tonight. That is sold out.
And by the way, Case hosting that lounge today, Q101 Lounge. Feels like we haven't done. Is this the first one of the year?
First lounge of the year, yes.
Wow.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And this is Case's band. He's followed these guys, this hardcore band, for years. If you watched any of the NFL games during any of the playoffs, they're the music in the Taco Bell commercial, Roker.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There's like one Taco Bell commercial with Portugal the Man, our friends, and then there's one with this band, Military Gun. Their song Do It Faster, we're playing here on Q101, and they're going to do it slower in the lounge today.
Awesome.
And that will be on Facebook Live. Check it out at noon today.
Yes, and if you miss it, Q101's YouTube channel after the fact. But yeah, so that is at Bottom Lounge tonight. That is super sold out, I've been told. Lit is at Silver Creek Event Center at Four Winds Casino, New Buffalo tonight.
What?
Wait a minute.
Take my wife to go see Lit?
Yeah, yes, you are.
Oh, my God.
The good news.
Yeah, they're still around.
The good news for you, Roker, Cold War Kids sold out. Local Age sold out. Military Gun sold out. Lit, tickets still available.
Good seats still available.
Hey, do not underestimate the fun that Lit will bring at that
God,
show.
yeah.
Right, yes. They've played our shows before.
Can I bring Harper to that?
Yes, you can.
A 15-month-old
But
baby?
it's at a casino.
Well, she can go play on the slots while I go watch Lit.
That's right.
That's awesome.
So that is all just tonight. And then this weekend also, I have to shout out Static X and Seven Dust are at Radius in Chinatown on Saturday night.
Wow.
That
Nice.
is
It's a loud show. That's
yeah.
Seven Dust. Listen, Static X, by the way, Wayne Static, he died.
That's right.
Right.
So the band continues without
Well, this
him.
is the first time they've toured together in 15 years.
Amazing. Wow.
Yes.
But Seven Dust has been around consistently.
Consistently.
And they always bring it. That's a great show.
That is. And then Sunday night, back at the Salt Shed, limited tickets still available for this. The band Neck Deep, who are a great pop punk band. If you like Damn It era Blink 182.
I do.
Yes, Neck Deep, and then Drain, who I talked to at Riot Fest, a great sort of hardcore metal band there. That is the Salt Shed Sunday night. So live music is back in Chicago. A great weekend all around the city and in New Buffalo.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Roker, what do you got on tap this weekend?
At the UC on Sunday,
Yes.
it's the Blackhawks game, but the fun is going to be before the game. It's the Chris Chelios jersey retirement.
Incredible.
So Chelly will be there, and he looks amazing. He looks so. We have to look up and see how old he is.
We saw
right?
him on, he was on WGN a minute ago, WGN TV, and I go, look at Chelios. Look at
He
that.
looks fantastic.
Look at that damn guy. And he looks so good. And I said, he's got to be close to 60 by now at this point when he played hockey here in the 90s. And I looked him up, and I couldn't believe I told Roker he's 62.
It's amazing,
Oh my
isn't it? It's
God, you look
crazy.
good.
That's crazy. So Michael Jordan's going to be there. Possibly Eddie Vedder's going to be there.
Yes.
Kid Rock is going to be there.
All
Just
the
maybe,
stars.
hang out outside the United. Do they even have scalpers outside the United Center anymore? Everything's electronic, isn't it?
You can still scalp, that way. Because you do it by basically from your bedroom. You can buy those tickets like.
Wait last minute.
Yeah, you can't wait too long, though, because they stop selling. There's a cutoff on like StubHub or whatever if you're doing it that way. But This is really funny. I don't know if there's a scalper out front with hard tickets. That would be great.
The UC might not even allow hard tickets anymore. There are a lot of
I don't
concert
think they
venues
do anymore.
that wouldn't take
Yeah,
them.
everything's digital pretty much. So, and yeah, that's a wild event. I've heard, all the stuff going on there. Not to mention, it is Patrick Kane's return.
Oh, that's right. The Red Wings, they're playing the Red Wings, which
Yep.
is, and they only come to town once a year now because they're not in the same division. And yes, it's Patrick Kane's first return back to the United Center as a member of the Red Wings.
This is really the biggest sporting event in Chicago since when? Like, since the Cubs and Sox played last summer?
Or maybe since a playoff game or something like that. I mean, it's the biggest Blackhawks event in 3 years.
I wonder
4 years.
I wonder if it's sold out and what tickets are going for that. It's got to be sold out.
It's got to be sold out.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you, Roker. And I want to mention that you can take your clothes off for a charity this weekend.
Oh, tell me more.
Roker loves taking his clothes off.
I do.
Case. So the Cupid Undie Run is tomorrow, the annual tradition. Over there in Wrigleyville, you jog a chilly mile through the Wrigleyville area in your skivvies, and all in the name of raising money for neurofibromatosis, which is a genetic condition that causes tumors to grow along your nerves. So it's a great cause, a great charity. They've raised tons of money over the years of doing this, and it all starts over there. It ends at Sluggers, but go to Sluggers first, too. And you get to stay in your skivvies while you drink over at Sluggers, which actually is a usual scene over there.
Pretty much, yeah, exactly.
So if you don't want to run, you can just donate to the cause instead. They have a website. Just do Cupid Undie Run 2024. We'll put a link up on it as well. Is that part of your blog there, too?
It is. It's on Q101.com.
So, Sluggers, I love how they
Be careful at the batting cages if you're in your underwear there. You might foul tip.
There you go. Check it all out. It's noon to 4 tomorrow in Wrigleyville. The weekend, Q101, all for charity, party, and a fun run in your undies. Q101.com, all the information on the weekend Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And today was the last day without Roker Jr. because our girl Lauren's going to come in the morning next week with the show.
I mean, I'm excited, but also, can we keep him? Please, Dad.
What do you want to do? Put him in a locker and we pull him out whenever we need him?
I need him all the time.
We'll do a hologram.
It's not the same. You can't hug a hologram. I tried.
I don't know. The Tupac hologram was very huggable.
Oh, yeah?
Okay. Can you speak from experience?
Wow, that was a lot of silence after that.
There's a whole story here.
Lauren's coming in. She'll tell you what she has coming up in a second. I will say, Al Roker Jr., it was a pleasure. So fun. My friend here all week long. And a lot of people on the text line saying we love and miss you. So it was great having you in. I think we're going to have you in again.
Well, I've had a blast. Thank you so much for having me, and you guys are fantastic. I had more fun than I would have ever imagined.
All right. That's very nice.
And there
thank you
wasn't
so
even
much.
strippers in the studio.
No.
That's what he's used to.
Nope.
Saying a lot.
All right, let's get the takeaways first. Takeaways from the week of shows. Case, what do you got?
219 checked in. History lesson we all learned this week. It was Al Green who got grits thrown at him in the bathtub. He did not do the grits throwing.
Yeah.
Well, we almost really slandered a good man.
That's right. That's right.
I know.
So I need to give
Sorry,
him-
Al. From one Al to another. Sorry, bro.
Roker, what do you got for takeaways?
From 630, the takeaway was white people break into prison for fun.
Boy, that's something to go back to the podcast for. And another one about Roker here, 847. Final takeaway that Al Roker Jr. said, spoiler alert, I'm black on the show. And that was actually a very good plot twist in the show this week because a lot of people didn't know.
Who would have thought?
I don't know. So, Lauren, what do you got coming up today?
Oh, my gosh. I have 3 pairs of 3-day Riot Fest passes.
What?
Yeah.
I
Wow, they're holding out on you.
Yeah.
I guess so.
You had all the Pearl Jam tickets. Give me something.
All right,
enough.
that's fair. That's very
Plus,
fair.
They were impressed with my Slayer, so they were like, hey, you earned these.
Well,
Blow
Lauren-
on a vocal cord.
Lauren broke the news worldwide that Slayer is playing, reuniting, I should say, or I don't even know if the reuniting is the correct word. They're just doing some shows.
Coming out of retirement.
I guess so. And they'll be doing it at Riot Fest, the only Midwest location.
Yep.
So I assume a bunch of metalheads will be at O'Hare and Midway flying in for that.
Yeah, it's my people.
I can't wait for that scene at baggage claim. a bunch of hockey bags with stickers on them coming in there. some camo cargo shorts. Listen, that was my look. I'm not ripping on it. I'm saying that was me.
Still wear camo. You just have a drawstring waist, which is totally different.
I proposed to Megan in camo pants at Twisted.
With a drawstring
You're romantic,
waist.
aren't you?
It's not even as bad. It's just, A, they were cargo. A, it was camo. And it was a drawstring waist like my grandpa wears.
Hey.
And she still said yes.
She still said, yes, I have a baby.
Oh, my gosh. I don't know.
Wow.
You're the luckiest bastard I know.
I'm going to put some camo on Harper this weekend. Listen to some slaying. Take her to the Seven Dust show. Megan's out of town. I can do what I want. All right. And on the podcast, Case, what do people got? Besides tomorrow morning, 8 to 10, remember, it's the throwbacks. So you want to hear Al Roker Jr. again on the show. It'll be stuff, and Kenzie as well. So we'll have 8 to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning right here on Q101.
Yeah, Kenzie checked in for the first time since she gave birth. That was about an hour ago, so that is on the podcast. We learned Al Roker Jr. was a savant at a Montessori school. He attended a high school, and he was like 12 years old. There's new information to me. And then if I could give everybody a recommendation, if for some reason you didn't hear it, on Tuesday, and the podcast is titled, We Pour One Out for a Hooters. We talked about a Hooters in Virginia where they held a candlelight visual because it was leaving the neighborhood. If you're going to do anything this weekend, go back to the Brian and Kenzie podcast and give that a listen. It's one of the funniest conversations we've ever had.
Yeah, and do pour one out for that Hooters, by the way.
Gone too soon.
So go check the podcast, Q101.com, and anywhere you get your podcasts.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.